Robert Andrade digestive system video quiz. I have to hurry because I'm past my bedtime. Okay, first and foremost, digestion is going to start right here in the mouth, and it's going to start with mastication or chewing, and that's going to mix with the saliva. Then the tube that goes down from the mouth or in the pharynx is going to go down to the stomach. That's the esophagus. It's about 25 centimeters long. And then when it gets to the stomach, there's a little kind of like a valve here. It's the cardiac sphincter, or the lower esophageal sphincter. And that regulates passage of food in here to the stomach. And it's also going to prevent regurgitation from going back up here into the esophagus. Now, the stomach, it's going to receive the food from the esophagus. The stomach has 4 regions. This is the cardiac region. This bulge up here is the fundus. And the body, excuse my drawing, the body would be about right here. Again, not proportional because it's my drawing. That's between the fundus and the pylorus. The pylorus is this section here. And right up here is the pyloric sphincter. And that's the most distal portion of the stomach, almost to the small intestine. Now we'll go back over here to my original drawing, get back on track. So here's the stomach. Now it has the 4 regions we just saw. And the pyloric sphincter, let's go back here for a minute, it's right here. And that's going to control gastric emptying. Okay, now getting down to the small intestine. That would be down in here, and it has 3 parts. The first one would be the duodenum, and that's right here. That's the small passageway leading away from the stomach, headed to the small intestine. And the jejunum would be right here, and the ileum is right here. And those two are almost unextinguishable from each other, except the jejunum has a greater diameter, it's thicker, and it's more vascular. The villi and microvilli, you're not going to see it here because it's on the inner surface of the small intestine. It's throughout the whole length. There's just tiny projections on the inside that increase the surface area of the intestinal lining, and it aids in digestion and absorption. Almost created a new word there. And the mesentery is now considered a full-fledged organ, but it suspends the jejunum and the ileum from the posterior abdominal wall. It supports blood vessels, nerves, and lymphatic vessels. And now getting to the large intestine. The large intestine does not have anywhere near as much to do with digestion as the small intestine does. But it has 4 parts. The cecum, the colon, which is like a framework for it, over here to the rectum, and eventually down to the anus, or the waste exits. And so the colon, it's divided into 4 parts. We have the part here that goes up, that's called the ascending colon. The one that goes across is the transverse colon, and then of course going down would be the descending colon. Sorry, I don't think I was showing that. That's the descending colon. And this part right here is the sigmoid colon. Now, as for organs the food doesn't pass through, one would be the pancreas, and that secretes the insulin. The liver is up here. That's going to break down fats, store vitamins, destroy damaged RBCs. Hopefully my battery doesn't die. And it's going to remove toxins. Next would be the gallbladder, and that's this little tiny guy right here. That's going to store bile and digest fat, and sometimes that needs removed. And then the greater or omentum that's like a flap, like a curtain for all these intestines. It's going to cover it. And peristalsis is going to be the rhythmic wave of muscular contraction that's going to help pass through food and eventually waste through all these intestines. It's controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system. It's going to stimulate the peristalsis. And that's my video.